So thank you everyone for joining us today. And today we have our very own Alka. We started a new series called Papyrus Tales, where we go back to classics and try to understand some secrets from our classical literature, Indian classical literature. And regularly we are looking to her for guidance towards understanding that. Today is the second session of that series. So Alka Vaidya is an educator, an avid reader, traveler, and trekker. She treks in Himalayas regularly. She's an occasional poet, has published a book and numerous articles and other books and magazines. Here at Pune Writers Group, we have associated her with her stories as a army wife, which have taken us to all corners of this country. Today's session, we will be talking about uh, Atmashatakam or Nirvanashatakam. It is a composition consisting of 6 verses or shlokas written in Sanskrit by philosopher Adi Shakaracharya. The Nirvana Shatakam form the core of Advaita or non-dualism. They appeal to the atheist as much as to those who are religious. In that crisp composition lies the profoundness that is needed to understand who am I. So, Alka, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah. So what we are going to do, we are going to first read one verse at a time, verse by verse. Loose translation, I would say, that what does it say? And later on, after I finish all 6, then we come back to it one by one. So if there are any, like any ideas or anything to share, or you'd like to talk about it, so that part we will do it. We'll go over it again afterwards. So first time it's just going to be reading a translation, a kind of translation, or what I understand by it, and then we will go back to it verse by verse. Okay, Kinjal, can we have the first one?
Okay.
I shared it with Kinjal yesterday because I'm not so good at managing both the things at the same time.
I'm sorry, I'll just share it again.
Yeah, sure. So this story is that Shankaracharya, when he was 8 or 9 years old, he was looking for a guru. And he, near Narmada, in that area, he was just wandering alone. Then he met his guru, his future guru, Govind Bhagavad Pad. And he asked him this question. He was surprised that this 8 or 9-year-old boy is alone, but of course he seemed to be something different. So he asked him, "Who are you?" And on this spot, the answer came in these 6 verses or 6 stanzas. On the spot, he composed and he told him, and that Mano Buddhyahankar Chita Ninaham Nacha Shrotra Jive Nacha Grana Netre Nacha Vyoma Bhumi Na Tejo Na Vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So what he said was, I am neither of these. Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. Now these are the ones, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, Buddhi. I'm not Ahankara, I'm not the ego, and nor am I the Chitta. Chitta is the reflection, or it is the recollection. It is, like all that we have in our mind. but it is in the memory. It's in the memory. So that is chitta. So he says, I am neither the mind, nor the buddhi, nor the ahankar, nor the chitta, nor the intellect or ego or chitta, not the recollection of all that I have seen or memorized or whatever it is. So I am not any of these. Nacha shrotra jive. Shrotra is what we hear. You know, that is shruti, by our ears, whatever is heard. Jive is, jiva is the tongue. So whatever is spoken by the tongue. Nacha grana. Grana is smell, sense of smell. So that is not what I smell. And netre is the eyes, whatever is perceived by the eyes, seen by the eyes. So I am not any of these. What is, and here, though it is not mentioned, these are the 5 sense organs. So 4 are mentioned, so fifth one is implied. Fifth one is implied that I am not what is sensed by the 5 sense organs. I am not to be, I am not the sense organs, not what is perceived by the sense organs. Nacha Vyauma Bhumi. Vyauma is Akash, sky, space. Bhumir, that is the earth. Na Tejo, Tej is the light, sun, Agni, fire, whatever you call, whatever gives light. So na Tejo, na Vayu, I am not the wind. Again here, out of the 5 elements, 4 are mentioned. So the 5th one is implied. Okay, that is the water. The 5 elements that constitute, so I am not any of these. So by negation, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. So what am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am the consciousness itself. I am that eternal bliss. Shiva represents that which is unattached. He is the Adi Yogi. So that is unattached, not in form. So I am just the pure consciousness. I am the pure bliss. I am Shiva. So Shiva, one doesn't take in Shankar, Shiva, like that. It is the representation that I am the total, this thing, representation of consciousness or whatever auspicious. I am that. I am the eternal bliss. The next one, can we have Kinjit? The next one.
Just a second. Can you see it now?
No, this is the first one still. Yes, thank you. Nacha prana sangyo navai panchavayu nava sapta dhatu nava panchakosha nava panipada nachopastapayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Now, see the language also here, the beauty of the language. He says, Nacha Prana Sangya. Sangya is noun. Now, so the one that is named as prana. Okay, Nacha Prana Sangya is the one that is called as prana. the one that is known as Pran. I am not that. So here I am saying the Pran is the life energy. The Pran is the life energy within the body. So the one that is known as Pran, I am not that. Navai Panchavayu, the Panchavayu that constitute. Now these Vayus are Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana and Samana. The Vayus that is in the, we inhale, we exhale. So, that is one, that is, this is Prana and Apana. And then it is the Vayu that is helps in digestion, assimilation, circulation, and then it is the Vayu that helps. The final fifth Vayu is the one that is supposed to be the force that carries the Pran out of the body. Okay, when after death, with the force that life is taken out, so that is the Vayu that is forcing. So these are the 5 Vayus. So I am not Prana, the one which is called as Pran. I am not those 5 Vayus which are responsible for circulation, assimilation, for all this. I am not that Panchavayus. Nava Sapta Dhatur. Now these are the ones which are constitute the body, the Sapta Dhatur. Now this is actually, if I tell you that this is Rasa, Rakta, Masa, Meda, Asti, Majja and Shukra. Which Rasa is plasma, Rakta is of course blood, Masa is muscle, then Meda is fat, Majja nerves and Shukra is the semen. So all I constitute the physical body, Saptadhatur. So I am not Saptadhatur. Nava Panchakosha, the 5 sheaths that make the body. The 5 sheaths here are the Annamay Kosha, the Pranamay Kosha, the Manomay Kosha, Vijnanamay Kosha, Anandamay Kosha. So it is, we say Annamay Kosha is the physical body, because we eat food and our body, that constitutes our body. So it's called as the Annamay Kosha. Then inside it is the Pranamay Kosha. Again we say that is the life force, the Pran. Then we have the Manomay Kosha, the mind. The mind also is within it. Then it is the Vijnanamay Kosha, that intellect. The intellect that makes it, that is a kind of gives the meaning to the whole thing. And the Anandamay Kosha that is within it is the Prakriti. It's what is, Prakriti, by Prakriti, what we are. So that is the Anandamay Kosha. So all these 5 sheaths constitute the body. I am none of these. I am none of these. Again, we are saying the same, that I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the whatever inside you that constitutes, I am none of these. So I am not the Panchakosha. Na Vak Pani Padu. Now here Vak is the tongue, again the speech, you can say. What is said by the speech? Pani are hands, Padu are feet. So these are the, these are the indriyas of action, karmendriyas. These are the pancha karmendriyas, because all action is by hands, feet, or through speech. So I am not these pancha karmendriyas. Na chopastha payu. Now here chopastha payu is the organs of procreation and elimination, excretion, elimination. So it is, I am not this, payu is excretion, upastha are genitals. So neither the organs of procreation nor the excretion, I am none of these, nor the karmendriyas, nor these, nor the elimination or procreation. I am, again, I am the Chidananda, I am the eternal knowing, I am the eternal bliss. I am in that state of bliss, you can say, that pure knowledge, pure consciousness. The next one, Kinjal, if you can have.
There is some problem in screen
Okay,
sharing
then
every
you
time.
can share the one which I have shared.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Right now you are on it. Thank you. न मे द्वेष रागो न मे लोभ मोहो मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्य भाव न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्ष चिदानंद रूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानंद रूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं. It says, Nat me dvesha rago. Neither do I have aversion, nor do I have any hatred, nor do I have any dislike. Na me lobha moho. Lobh is attraction, moha is delusion. Okay, lobh is a total greed, attraction, but moha is that delusion that I am attracted to something. So I am neither this, I have no lobh, no dvesh, no rag, no hatred, no dislike. I have no attraction to something. I have no greed for something. I am not, no likes, dislikes, anything. Madhu naiva, me naiva matsarya bhava. Mother is pride. Okay, that haughtiness. So I neither that pride nor the haughtiness nor matsarya. I'm not jealous. There's no envy. No envy, no jealousy, nothing that I'm striving for, that I'm attain. I want to attain nothing. I'm not proud of something that I have achieved. I'm not trying to achieve something. I am at just what this thing. Again, we come to that Chidananda. So, na dharmo na chartho, na kamo na moksha. Now here, dharma is the duties to perform. Here we talk about four folds of Purushartha. So dharma is the duty that I have to do this. Artha is earning. Shartho here is artha. So the out of the four, artha is earning. I have no desire for wealth, no desire for accumulating that wealth. Na kamo na moksha, kam is pleasure. So all that striving for pleasure and no moksha. Since I am not striving for that, there is no moksha also. Of course, the Purushartha includes all four. That you do all your duties, that is, when you are born, you are supposed to be, like a human, this thing, that Purushartha, we are saying all the duties as human beings, as son, as father, as mother, as, so that's nothing that I think that I had to, I don't have to, that earth, accumulate wealth, strive for something, for pleasures, for moksha, not even striving for moksha, because I am already there. I am the Chidananda Rupa. Sorry. I am the bliss absolute. So I don't have to strive for this. I'm not striving. I'm not that. I'm not all this, none of these. I am the bliss. I am the true knowledge. I am the absolute consciousness. I am the bliss. Na punyam na papam na saukhyam na dukkham na mantro na tirtham na veda na yajna aham bhojanam naiva bhojam na bhokta चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम. There is no concept of punya and pa, no vice and virtue, no merits and demerits. There is no pleasure or pain, na saukhyam na dukkham. No pleasure, no pain. I don't need mantras. I do not need mantras, the chants, the this. Nor do I have to go to pilgrimages, tirtham. So I'm not even going looking for any pilgrimage. I'm not looking for this. Then no Vedas, no scriptures, no tenets, no scriptures, na yajnaha, no sacrifices, no rituals. There is no need for any of this for me. I mean, I am not any of these. I do not relate to these. Aham bhojanam naiva bhojam na bhokta. I am not that what is partaken. I am not the partaker. I am not that experience. What is experienced? I am not the experiencer. I am none of these. Not the enjoyable, the one who is enjoying what is enjoyed. I am the ultimate bliss. I am the absolute bliss. So there is nothing that he can relate to. None of these. The next one, can we? So there are no good karmas and bad karmas. The previous one says there is no punya papa, there are no good karmas and there are no bad karmas. So we come to the fifth one that says Name mrityu shanka Name jati bheda Pita naiva me naiva Mata na janma Na bandhur na mitram Guru naiva shishya Chidananda rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda rupa Shivoham Shivoham Name mrityu shanka. There is no death, but there is not even the fear of death. There is no shanka. There is no that continuous thought of death and it's going to end and this is going to. So there is no shanka. There is no fear in my mind. I am eternal. I have no fear of death. I am not even it's a kind of I was not even born. So name jati bheda. Where are the caste and creed? There is no differentiation on the basis of caste. There is no, I was not born, so how can I belong to any religion or any caste? How can I identify myself with any caste? Because I was not born. There is no fear of death, there is no birth. That's why, since I have no birth, I have no father, no mother, no janma. There's no janma, so there is no father, no mother. So, na bandhu, na mitra. I am not anyone's brother, not friend. I am not a guru. I am not shishya. I am not a disciple.
I'm sorry, Alka, who is saying these things? I joined late, so I missed this part.
Shakaracharya, when he was 8 or 9 years old, he was asked this question by his future guru.
Mm-hmm.
He asked him, "Who are you?" And he is negating. In negation, he is asserting what he is.
Okay.
Okay, so he says that I am not this. then what am I? I am the eternal bliss. Knowledge absolute. I am the consciousness. So I have no form. This is something that, so, and he is no birth. No? So he doesn't have mother and father. He himself has no this thing. So it is existence absolute. Okay, we will come back again to each verse. Okay, so all your doubts, we will, no, I don't have that kind of knowledge to clear your doubts, but together maybe this journey we will find something that he meant by these verses. They're too profound for me to interpret totally, but this is how, whatever interpretations I have read, and I listen to it every day, so every day I probably find something new. Okay, the next one. So, Aham nirvikalpo nirakar rupo vibhutvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam nacha sangatam naiva muktir nameya Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham. Here now for the first time this Aham is the Atman. So now is saying Aham as Atman. Nirvikalpo. I am the without any vikalpa, without any second, there is no duality. So when we start talking about Advaita Vedanta, there is no duality. There is no vikalpa, there is no alternative, there is no second entity. It is just one. Without resemblance, without similarity, there is no other entity. Nirakara Rupa. There is no form. I am the formless. I am the formless. There is no form. So, it's like Vibhutvacha Sarvatra Sarvendriyana. I am all encompassing. I exist everywhere. That is now the omnipotent. I am all encompassing, all everywhere. I am the existence itself. All, that whatever can be sensed by the indriyas, whatever can be sensed, that everything that pervades all senses. So it is always the same. I'm always the same, neither free nor bonded. Nacha sangatam. Now here it is asangatam. Nacha asangatam. So now he is saying, I am not unrelated. The previous one, when we are saying that I am not related to mother, father, this, that. I am not unrelated to the self. The self that is within. The self that I am not unrelated to that. But there is no mukti. Meya is something that is measurable. Okay, so finite. So I'm not that finite, measurable. There is no mukti because I'm not bounded. There is no mukti because I'm not bounded. I am this. I'm free from all dualism, from all impurities, from any form, from any, this kind of anything that bounds. I am the eternal bliss. I am consciousness, existence, absolute. So these are the 6 verses that in that, as I said, in negation, there was assertion that what I am. Because is this sure of I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. So what I am is I am the knowledge absolute, the existence absolute, the consciousness absolute. And that is how he explains the non-duality that we will actually, now we will go one by one verse at a time. So maybe, at that time, if you feel that need to ask something, say something, or discuss something.
Alka, before I begin sharing the screen again, do you want to address the questions that are there in the chat?
Okay.
Should I read out
Yes.
the questions?
I'll read.
Parveen, it's your question. Do you want to ask the question?
Yes, I think Alka already addressed it also.
Yes.
The idea of not having birth and therefore not having a mother or father. So something of that is clear. And I think as we discuss the verses in detail, perhaps there'll be more light on this. I did want to add that it appears as if in this process of negation, um, by saying I'm not all of these things, I get a sense that I'm everything. So by saying not this, not this, not this, it becomes everything. So the process of negation, to me, I interpret as a process of inclusion rather than saying or distancing identity. So that was
Yes.
really interesting.
That is true. That's what in the last stanza is, isn't it? That I am all, I am omnipresent. I am the existence. So here I would like to add something that sometimes, when, as I thought, if it's considered as religious text, we find it difficult to relate to. But it was called Sagan, who said that we all are stardust. And he said that we are in the cosmos and the cosmos is within us. Now a scientist saying it. So, the cosmos is within us. He said that in his. So it is the same thing he's saying, because we know that the earth has that existence from from the sun. Its existence is from the sun. And whatever we are made of all that is in the earth. So whatever we are made of stardust. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
So if we say I'm the existence absolute, I'm star material or stardust or whatever you call. So that is what even scientifically it makes sense. It makes sense. And as I promised, there is nothing about religion here. There's nothing about religion here. If you, and if I say that it encompasses all religions say the same. So those are man-made things, later on all man-made things. But we are talking about something for this thing. Accepting everything under its wings because it's the existence. Okay. So can we go one at a time? Pavin, I must tell you that your face was so encouraging for me when I was, like it was you, because you were relating to it, you are responding by your expression. And I felt, yes, it's something I'm probably making sense. Okay. Because it's very difficult to, as I said, so profound verses that, can you imagine that and it has got tempo, it's lyrical. But I am not able to sing it the way it should be, but it has been sung by the greatest masters, including Pandit Jasraj and, like the philosophers and yogis, and everybody has been singing it in different ways. So it is lyrical, it has a tempo. And see, and why he did not mention the fifth, they say, because if he says na vyoma bhumi na tejo na vayu, why did he not mention the fifth element? Because it doesn't fit into the meter.
Right.
It doesn't fit into the meter, but it is understood, it's implied. Anyone who knows about 5 elements knows that there is a fifth.
Right. Right.
So similarly, the 5 sense organs, everyone knows five sense organs. So four are mentioned, so okay, I'm not, that can be perceived through the senses.
Yes.
Fifth one is implied, it's not mentioned because it doesn't fit into the meter.
So I found it very interesting from a poetic perspective also, these choices, and as a writer, because very often we think that to say something, we must say the thing. But through negation, we can actually reach um, act- possibilities more than by directly stating what it is. So these choices that he makes, because he's not um, in the process of negation, the identity is not getting smaller and smaller, it's getting vast and it's getting bigger. So to express something big through the process of negation was something I was very fascinated by from a writer's perspective also.
That's why I said, you know, that the verses, even I felt that how one can be so this thing economical with the words and still express practically everything. Everything that is to be said has been said, and what is not said is implied. So, you know, of course, as I said, the prior, this thing is assumed that everyone knows five senses, everyone knows about five elements or saptadhatur or these. But it is still so, even if you take its literal meaning also,
Yeah.
you go, it still explains everything. Anyone else who would like to talk about this? See what, when we say Mano Buddha Ahankara Chitta, these are the Antakarana, the four folds of Antakarana. You know, in Marathi we often say Antakarana pasun Dhanyavad deto. You know, I thank you from Antakaran. So Antakaran means the mind, intellect, ego, and chitta, or my this thing, that because mana is, that is lower mind and higher mind and all that. It says ahankar is whatever that identifies with the physical body. Okay, ahankar stems from that. At the moment I identify with the physical body, I say I'm, you know, intelligent, I am beautiful, I am this, I am that, I am not. So, you know, I have achieved this. That physical body has, whatever are the achievements of the physical body, the moment it starts identifying with it, that ahankar. So, antakaran, when you say, you include all four. But here, ego, then we say ego. When we say antakaran, we call it ego. But actually, when he is saying that I am neither the boy, nor the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ahankar, nor the chitta, nor the five, what is perceived by the five sense organs, nor am I the five elements. And again, fifth one implied in both the cases.
So that means he's just life? Is that what he's saying? He's just a, a living person. That's it. And that life has no, there's nothing attached to the life. Is that what he's saying?
See, that life is, you know, it's like, because you said you are not born and neither there is birth nor death. So that
Right.
itself, yes, that life itself, out of which some manifest in some form. Okay, some of it manifest. We say that from five elements, you take the gross and you take the subtle, and it manifests in a form. And identify with that form because we can perceive it with our five senses. So identify with that form, and then we call it that my life, my birth, my death, my life. So part of it manifests, and we consider that as the life, but it's, yeah, is the life itself. When you say existence itself is the life itself. Yes.
when I'm reading, when I'm hearing this, I'm thinking of phantom limbs, this, we know that now if people don't have a limb or two, and then they still think that their limb is there and it's still itching and it's still feeling hot, or they're feeling pain in a limb when they actually have lost their limb. So somehow they feel that that they have a hand when they actually have their hand got cut off, or they lost their limb, their hand for whatever reason. So I'm just thinking, over there also, that person thinks that they're there, but they're not there.
It's identifying with the physical body. It's identifying with the physical body. The identification is so strong. It is, in philosophy, it is called as avidya. It's the ignorance. All our identification with physical body is because of ignorance. And I heard somebody talking about it, when I was listening to the talk. And he says, for ignorance, we don't have to go to any school. It is natural to us. Okay. So for knowledge, we go to school. For getting something, we try. But ignorance is natural to us. So, that ignorance, that because of that avidya, we identify with the physical body. And even in Buddhism, that's why it's said that then the moment you identify with the body, there is pain. All the pain, the reason for dukkha or pain is that identification.
I think Mala has a question.
I just was thinking of it in a different way slightly, in the sense that, if somebody asks me who am I, and I say that, well, I'm not my nose, I'm not my ears, I'm not my name, so obviously I can respond and say my name is Mala or something, but reality is Mala is not me, right? That's not who I am. So I think in some ways this is what he is saying, is that these, I'm not any of these things which you can think of, I mean, a person to be this or that or the other, but I'm none of these. You can identify a person by his color of his skin or his jati or anything like that, but actually he is. So he's trying to show that by
Mala, we can't hear you.
you can't hear me.
Hear you again.
Now we can hear you.
Can you hear now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. So I just thought that, it's just like did you hear the beginning part or you didn't hear anything?
We heard the beginning.
The beginning, then in between couldn't. Yes.
Oh, sorry. So I just thought that is what he is trying to say, the Shankaracharya, that just as we cannot say that I am my nose or I am my hand or I am anything. So that is how he is negating it and coming to the essence of who a person is, right?
Yes. Yes. See, because as you said, you can't think of, it's like in parts. It's in parts. That if I say I am the nose, then I'm talking about one part of my Annamaya Kosha or my physical body.
Right.
Isn't that so? So I'm not. And that the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. So it's like when you say it's like we are identifying with the parts that are visible, the parts that are perceivable, sensed.
Correct.
So it's not that. It's way something more. And the elements, of course, the elements too. Because when I said we are stardust, the elements, they contribute. They contribute to the koshas, to the sheets. But these are just the sheets. They're just the sheets. Again, I heard somebody saying that, it's a kind of that. If I'm speaking from a platform, the platform is not me. I got the platform to speak from. But you start identifying with the platform. In very ordinary terms, I would say like people identify with the chair. It's like that. So it is, my position, my this, my responsibilities,
my title. I'm general manager,
yes.
my CEO. Yeah.
It's actually very It's also a very feminist piece for me, especially in this rejection, because so much of women's identities in particular is about their relations with family, with brothers,
Yeah.
sisters, mothers, and of course, like you mentioned, Mala, their professions. So it's a rejection of any label that
Mm.
is associated, that society imposes or society sees, any easy way of labeling and seeing a person, and recognizing that I'm bigger than all of these things.
Yeah, that's very true. That's actually something we women should learn, is how to how, we everybody has their own little pocket to put us into, like a mother, sister, brother, whatever. But we don't seem to emerge out of that. Many times we sort of submerge ourselves into those identities and forget that we are really another human being also. I mean, really a full human being, not just
Yeah,
these
outside of
parts.
these labels.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Something to cling on to.
Mhm.
I would say, some identity to cling to.
Yes,
So,
that's true.
So we
Alka,
can,
I had a small request. Can we take a picture before we carry on with the discussion? Will that be
Sure.
fine?
Yeah,
So if everyone can just put on their cameras.
I think mine, is it on or not? Oh,
No, Mala, we
mine.
cannot see it.
Oh, sorry. I think it was the reverse camera. Sorry.
Now we.
It's on now. Kinjal, I'm not well, so I'm not putting on the video. Is that okay?
Yes, yes, no worries. Whatever is comfortable. Shankar, Neil, Sumit, if possible. Kamal, Sheetal.
This is a lot of light from behind. Oh, there you are. Better.
Shankar, request you to also do it.
It's done.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
thank you, Sumit, for that shot of Goa. We needed that.
It's just making us jealous.
Where is this shot of Goa? I haven't seen it. Oh God, it's gone. Never mind.
Okay, second one, can we have a look at the second verse? Now, this is what I really like the best when he says, Nacha Pranas Sangyo. It is that which is called as, and Sangya is calling it a noun, that it is called by some name, okay, as Pran. Some name is given to it, Pran, but I am not that. So, even making very little of it, that which is called as Pran. Just in one word, like it's a kind of, in some short way. And the Panchavayu, as I said, those are the Vayus which are responsible for all the, it's talking about human physiology. Okay, because inhalation, exhalation, circulation, assimilation, and the final Vayu, that it forces the prana out of the body. The fifth Vayu is the one which, so everything is taken care of by one word, that I am not those, the physiological thing. I mean, anatomically, I am not made of that Saptadhatur, so I am not, anatomy and physiology both are rejected in this. That the Panchakosha, the five sheaths, the physical body, then the mind, the intellect, and that's Jnanamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha. You say, so it's like Manomaya Kosha, and then we come to Anandamaya Kosha. So I'm not those, I am not the seven, this thing, that is the flesh. He's saying, I'm not the flesh, I'm not the blood, I'm not the nerves, and I'm not this thing, organs of procreation, I'm not organs of elimination, and I'm not the process either. The process either. And the karmendriyas here, that is the hands and feet and my tongue, my mouth, the karmendriyas, I need none of these. So again, this kind of, those are five vital airs. I'm not. the elements that constitute me, but I am not. If I have this thing, 5 sheets, again a part of the body, but I am not those. And then again, as I said, in that negation, the assertion that I'm all encompassing bliss. Anyone would like to explain it further or discuss it?
I was just thinking
So,
of
Alka, this,
yeah, go ahead, Kinjal.
Swati, please go ahead.
I was just thinking of people who are have been acid attacked, who don't have an arm or a leg, who can't poop today, who can't pee tomorrow. They somebody without any limbs. They're still people, and I don't know when or if anybody will become that. We don't have any control over that, right? I mean, we don't have any control, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that person still exists. The person exists whether they lose everything or not. That as long as they're alive, they exist. They might have changed because of all of that. They might lose their class, creed, religion, profession, but they still, as a person, exist. And that's what I was just thinking. That
Swati, here I would like to add something. That you just have to look at Stephen Hawking.
Right.
You just have to look at the person, and the person who doesn't identify with that disability, the physical body, and the way beyond that. So, that's what is, that the physical body is going to perish. It's going to suffer. It's going to have, like it's a kind of illness and this and something. But if you look at Stephen Hawking, and then this is beyond. I mean, bliss is beyond physical body. That's what and similarly, if you read the book Tuesdays with Morrie.
Right.
So that the professor, he knows each one by one, each organ is, like deteriorating and then stops functioning. And then he's asked that, what does it mean to you? And he says, it means that somebody is going to wipe my bum someday. We'll have to wipe my bum. This is fine. That's fine. That's the body. It's the body. I'm not identifying with my body. The moment I identify, there will be humiliation, there will be this and misery and all those things. People have gone beyond me. These are the examples.
Wow.
Alka?
Yes,
Alka? Yeah, can you explain this line again, please? Na vak pani pado na chopastha payu.
Na vak pani pado. Pani are hands. Pada is feet. Vak is the speaking, the ability, that vacha. So I am not the 5 karmendriyas. Okay, not the hands, the feet, not the speech, which is responsible for all actions. Okay, so I am not this thing with my actions also. That's why I said no good karma, no bad karma. So the karmendriya is not even relating to that. And chopastha payu, that is the excretion and procreation. Okay. So these are the organs of excretion. Payu is excretion and upastha is genitals. So neither the organs or the process or that's procreation or elimination.
So, Alka, like last time, like in Jainism, there is this thing they say that there was a being, like each of us is a being, and when this being was created, it was capable of everything, and it was extremely pure. But as soon as it took a form, whether it was the form of a plant or any form which was a jeev form, which had life, it started accumulating karma. And now we have to keep taking birth to reduce that karma or to let go of the baggage. So all these verses reminded me of that concept in Jainism, that initially there was only like a being, for the want of a better word, which did not have form or traits, or like in psychology, what we call personality traits. It didn't have any traits, it didn't have any form, it didn't have any baggage or taste or shape. It was just there. And so all these six verses reminded me of that concept in Jainism, where there was nothing in beginning, only a being, and now we have accumulated by being born into different shapes and accumulating traits and karma. And from a psychological perspective, like I feel that there's no I in this. Like there's no ego, there's no shape, there's no I. And I think that concept of I is born because of cognitive perception. Like you look at something and that is why it is there. So if there's no I, then you don't look at anything. There's nothing to see, there's nothing to feel, there's nothing to think about. And that kind of complete negation, uh, like that there's a glass of water when you look at it, and because light reflects from that, and that it exists. So that kind of perception, where there's no perception and therefore there's no I, was the two. I mean, those are the two different completely things that hit me when you reading this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there lies this thing that Buddhism and Jainism also, there is, and Sankhya philosophy also, there is a concept of dualism. So, there is a universal supreme soul. And, if you by your good karmas or whatever it is, the soul again joins, the soul that has been separated, it is living within a body, joins the universal soul. So that is where the dualism exists. But this is Advaita, where it says it's just one. Everything is one. The whole existence is one. So there is no duality, no this in it.
Yeah, that I realized very starkly, because even when our gurus say that there is nothing, still the Bhagavan is separate from you. Like the Tirthankar, the Mahavir is different from you, and you are moving towards him. Whereas there's no other person. There is nothing. There's just
no, and that's why there is no I, which what you mentioned, the ego. So he says nor this, nor this, nor this. Only last he mentions aham, and that is the Atman. That is where it is Atman. That what I am that. And in non-duality it says Aham Brahmasmi. I am the whole Brahman. Again, we come to I am stardust. I am the whole Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi. You are that. We said, who am I? So I am Brahman. Tattvamasi, you are that. You are also Brahman. We are all the same existence. So can we go to the next one, or somebody would like to say something different than this, something more, something else? This we saw just now.
I wanted to ask, when he says prana sankhyo, to refer to the word that stands for breath, is it also a commentary on language, that I am not the things contained by language or represented by language? Because he's using the word noun, and noun is an
Yes.
interesting word, because nouns are labels, definitions, categories, and there are ways in which language puts stamps on things. This is a woman, this is a table, this is living, this is this. So is he also talking about the reductionist nature of language and the limitations of language?
Yes, yes, that's why I said, this is where, because the one that is called, he could have used the same thing for everything. The one that is called this one, the one that is called this one, that. But instead of that, he has used language very skillfully. And that, yes, that in the language, it is mentioned like this. By using language, it is expressed like this, but it's not.
I think अलका जी, यहाँ
हाँ.
प्राण संज्ञो का मतलब ये है कि the consciousness of pran, it is not noun.
No, it is Sankhya is noun, and
हाँ,
Prana
पर
Sankhya is addressed as.
इसमें जो ट्रांसलेशन मेरे पास है उसमें
हाँ।
प्राण संज्ञो is written as a consciousness of the prana, not as a noun. ऐसे तो नहीं लिखा हुआ है. So it is, I am not the consciousness of prana, neither I am the panch vayu. So हो सकता है जो noun का जो है उसमें थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ है शायद. Maybe there's a doubt. Maybe there's a doubt.
There can be, of course, several
interpretations of
interpretations, but I have read some 3 or 4 interpretations.
Acha.
In that, it is clearly mentioned that Sankhya here is used as noun, and
As
the one
noun.
that is called as prana. I am not prana. He's saying I am not prana. Because previously also he said not panchakosha, that pranamaya kosha also I am not prana. But I am consciousness. No? He's reiterating every time I am consciousness itself.
So then how do we distinguish between
here? He cannot refuse.
Prana and consciousness are, what's the difference between them? What is, I mean, what is the, is not pran?
Pran is the vital energy. Pran is the vital energy that escapes. No, we say that pran chhod ke gaye. So that is the vital energy.
Okay.
The body. So pran gives that, and the moment the pran leaves the body, it's body, then there is no life.
Yes.
So the life energy, that vital energy is pran. So if he says I am not consciousness, then that would be negating what he said at the end.
But then how can he say I am not the prana? I mean, as in prana is the life, no?
The pran is right now, it's like a part of what is encased in that body, manifested in some form. It's not the pure absolute thing. It's a manifestation in some form.
Okay.
Can we go to the next one? If no one wants. Now, see, this is so confining, that punya, papa, swarg, nark, everything, that it's the weight, we carry. It's a continuous, it's like somebody is telling us what is right, what is wrong. By this thing we know actually. Even a child knows what is right and what is wrong, but then finally, somebody else decides, and then it is termed as punya and papa, and then, the whole cycle of getting caught in it, bad action, good karma, and bad karma. So it's like automatically, if you follow naturally, that it follows its own dharma. I would like to hear, like, I don't, why I'm not able to see everyone. Is it possible that if I click also, I'm not able to see? Okay. So, I heard one story. It's like, though we are saying that this is nothing related to religion. So, I said Hindu is a geographical term. It's a geographical term that all those who live in. So, if everybody is born a Hindu, then consciously, unconsciously, he can take up, accept any religion. All religions, there's something good. But then what is Hindu then? So it's a geographical term. So somebody explained it that well, naturally you follow, everybody naturally follows dharma. It's like a river follows its dharma. And what is the dharma of the river? Is to flow and give on its way, give and give and give, and then meet the ocean. So you put dams and you put mountains in its path, and it will still go to that ocean. It will still keep giving no matter what you do. So that is the dharma. So that is the dharma is like properties. So what are your properties as human beings are your dharma. That's why I said this is not related to any religion. I felt, while reading this, I always felt that this is not any particular religion. It is just dharma is basic properties. This is why, but here he is going way, this thing that I cannot be defined by any property, I cannot be defined by the body, I cannot shape, no, nothing.
So I wanted to ask, of course, when he's saying, I am not this, it's also a way of saying, you are not this. Because in its essence, we're all the same. So in saying that I'm not this, and you are not this, and especially in bringing in the words of punya, pap, there's also tirtha, yagna, all of those words. Is it a negation and a rejection of these ideas of karma and the consequences of karma and punya, pap, which lead to karma and the whole cycle and all of that? Is he, by negating these as part of him and therefore as part of us and as part of consciousness, is he negating these philosophical concepts and saying uh, they don't hold water, we are not these? So is it, so I'm trying to, I'm sensing a little more than just the beauty and the and how it's touching. I'm sensing a slight recognition of, rejecting these conventions that have conditioned us in some ways.
See, this was written in 8th century. We have to remember it was written in 8th century. And that time the Vedas, this is a part of Vedanta, where Upanishads and all start. So it is after the Vedas, after. So when it was written at that time, whatever was, like people kind of, maybe they believed in those rituals of Tirtha and Yagya and all that. So it is like he must have felt that they are all going on the wrong path of they are being ritualistic, they are believing something, that is not meant to be. Maybe it was being followed in some ways which was not supposed to be. Sacrifice was something else, but Yagya turned out to be maybe something else. So, what was known to him at that time, of the religion known to him,
Yes.
the practices in that birthright. So, as you said, maybe he was saying that no, this is not the path to be followed. This is not the path to be followed. This is not, you have misunderstood it. So you have it's a kind of maybe, but this boy was looking for a guru. And he is explaining this to his future guru, that all this, that I am not this. So at least he has reached somewhere. He's already reached somewhere.
Correct.
So clear. So
don't you feel that it's a terrifically revolutionary concept, the whole way he's speaking? I mean, it's amazing even to people in our generation and our, we are so-called 21st century, whatever. But I mean, it's an amazing way of how free his mind was. I mean, what a concept.
Yeah. He's
Amazing.
rejected the caste system. He's rejected punya,
Absolutely.
karma. He's rejected
Everything.
labels, language, all of these things. So it really is
Amazing.
It is, in some sense, he probably didn't mean it that way, but I do sense the politics of this rejection coming in as and rejecting the conventions of society of that time.
Yes, definitely. I mean, he has rejected everything. You see, all the things which people have classified, you are this, you are that, or, all those things he has rejected. You are a father, you're a mother, or you're a child of a father and mother. Therefore, you owe them X, Y, Z, and you have to do your duties. All that has been rejected. Everything has been rejected. And what a level of rejection. Even today, we cannot even come anywhere near it.
Yeah, I think one thing he's doing is that he's rejecting the concept of even definition, because even by definition you're limiting, and by calling someone X, you're also subtly saying that they're not A to Z except for X. So by saying that he's not this, I think there's an implicit maybe the word just. I'm not just this. So don't. And one of the messages I got from it, I could be completely wrong, that don't weigh yourself down by trying to get this definition, which is something we do every day, a million times a day, and people have been doing through the histories. And it's kind of depressing and also comforting to know that this problem was there 1200 years ago. But yeah, I think he really strikes out against that idea of defining, because he feels that by definition you're limiting. Right.
So Alka, does it also mean that we can carry on through all the relationships, means the journey of life, without any asakti? Right. So asakti is the root here. Asakti
Asakti
is
is
the root
attachment.
cause of,
Asakti is
yeah,
attachment. Yes,
yeah, root
yes.
cause of, in Buddhism also they say, right? Desire, asakti is the root cause of grief.
All misery, yes. Asakti is supposed to be the root cause. And as I said, identifying with the body, identifying with some this thing that I am this, I am this, I am this, identifying with the ego, and identifying with the ahankara, identifying with, like it's kind of unnecessary. The moment, I always think of that when the child is born, that if that is retained throughout life, I'm not saying that is irresponsibility or whatever it is you call it, but the thing is that that bliss is natural. It's natural. See, when you think about it, the child doesn't mind somebody wiping his bum, but the grown-up person would. So what happens is that throughout life, what they pay off, that I have some idea about myself, my dignity, my pride, my ego, my image of myself, my image in others' eyes. So many things we start identifying with, that it becomes very difficult to live a pure life. And if it is pure, then nothing wrong. Everything will happen automatically. Yes, we will take care of things. We will take care of things.
Alka, when was this dialogue?
Talking.
When was this dialogue executed actually?
820.
This was when in the 8th century, when Shankaracharya, Adi Guru Shankaracharya, when he was 8 or 9 year old, he was looking for a guru. He was wandering near Narmada. Some people now put it that he was near Himalayas. He wasn't. He was born in Kerala and he was near Narmada. I'm very happy because I'm from Madhya Pradesh, so I'm not letting him go to Himalayas. So he has to be near Narmada. That we call Narmada as our Ganga Maya, and so that's the river which provided for us. So it's like, so he asked that Govinda Bhagavad Pada, that he asked him, "Who are you?" And he answered. So, that quest was there. His mother was not ready to let him go in search of, he wanted to know who am I. And that's why he said, I want to find a guru. She was not letting him go. The story is that, he got into the water and a crocodile caught his leg.
Yes.
And, he told his mother, unless you give me permission, this crocodile is going to drag me inside the water. He didn't want to come out. Actually, he didn't want to come out of the water. Finished with. If I'm not allowed to pursue, then better not live. So she said she finally gave him permission, and then the crocodile left him that, okay, he has higher purpose maybe. So, and then he revived Advaita Vedanta. It was not that he got this original idea, he revived it. It was there. It was there. So he revived.
I think there's a version, maybe it's not true, but there's when I was young and I went to this Adi Shakaracharya temple in Mumbai, they had paintings on the wall of all these anecdotes. And one of them was that the crocodile was actually Mahavishnu. And he came down to make Adi Shankara's mother relent. It seemed like a very circular way to get it done, but I think the Hindus were happy to appropriate it that way. And he set up 4 marks, right?
Yes. East, north, south.
Huh?
East,
yeah,
west,
four
north,
directions.
south.
Yeah.
The four directions, 4 mathas in Sringeri, but and west, which one is in the west? I forgot.
I've been to Sringeri. There's a carving of a frog. They say he set it up there because he found there was rain and he saw a frog being protected by a snake. And he said, this is a place where even mortal enemies take care of each other. And that's why he set it up there. And there's a carving of that. I don't think it's, I mean, the cynic in me is different, but I'm happy to. Therefore, yeah. Is it Puri in the west? Not Puri. Is it
No, Puri is in the east.
Okay. So Puri, I'll tell you.
Orissa. Yeah. There is one in the west. This is Dwarka. It is in Dwarka.
Yes.
West is Dwarka. So there are 4 mathas. But, I do hope everyone understands what he meant by these verses. And again, don't go into the rituals or whatever it is. Because there's no harm. I mean, there's no harm. As long as it's like everywhere the is maintained. You know, the kind of equanimity.
It's Badrinath, Dwarka, Puri, and Sringeri. Now it's been kind of co-opted, not co-opted, I think, into Hinduism, or Hinduism has
that
fallen
is
under.
for 4 Vedas. It is 4 Vedas,
Correct,
4 months. So, one is for Rig Veda, one is for Yajurveda.
Yeah.
So somebody say when you're a 10-year-old boy and your mother is saying you must stay with me and because you're my future and you have to take care of me when I grow old. Your guru says you must go and study something. Maybe you're a little older and your kids are saying that you have to earn for me something. Wife's family is saying that you have to provide for the kids and the wife and you're the husband, and so many people giving you so many demands, and then he's just saying, I'm none of these. I'm not a son, I'm not a husband, I'm not a student, I'm not a teacher, I don't have any responsibilities, forget about everything. I am just me, that's it. Because many times the roles are conflicting with one another. Sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are.
Yeah. I think the boy was very young. He wasn't married, obviously. I think it was just a parental
he was 9 years old.
Reluctance to give up the kid. I mean, which I completely understand. It's all very well when it happens to other people.
So I think what I feel is you can play any role without being, attached to that role. See, like Gandhiji, right? He played the role of freedom fighter, everything, but he never hated Britishers.
Right, right.
Yeah, so without any...
Maybe people got married at very young ages, for all I know. Maybe they were getting married in his community at the age of 5. I don't know what.
No, we know that he wasn't married, so we can kind of put that to bed. Yeah. And if you go to Sringeri now, and the Acharya is there, his parents live on the premises actually. Who gave him in when he was 6 or 7. He was identified as the next one, and now he's the older one. There's a younger one now. His parents live there, and I every time I look at them, I wonder how did they give up their son. I don't have. I mean, I cannot comprehend it as a parent. I guess that's fake.
Children, people give up their children to go to the army. I mean, even that is a huge sacrifice.
That's a little, that is also a huge sacrifice.
I mean,
that's a little older. And,
this is a little less.
6, 8 years old.
Yeah. But he had a bigger role to play, that you can make out that if a 9-year-old has already read the Vedas and he already knows everything and he is looking to go further, in that way, and that's why he's looking for a guru. So Gurukul, the children used to go those days.
Yes.
At that age. So it was not.
No, that is different. Gurukul is school, which he might have been going to. But he was looking for a real guru, as in a person who will, lead him to whatever liberation or whatever.
Moksha.
Moksha.
His life over.
Actually, but he has also negated moksha over here.
He is not even looking for that.
He wants
the answer to that question, that what is the way of my existence? What is the purpose of my existence? That he found, that's why he said that he has to establish those matters. So it's kind of Purpose also for this is not only who am I, more importantly, what is the purpose? What's the purpose? I mean, it's kind of, sometimes it helps you, sometimes you feel, yes, Shankar, it discourages me totally.
Why?
But no, that kind of, my mother used to say that बच्चे तो क्या है सबके कुत्ते बिल्ली उनके भी बच्चे होते हैं वो भी अपने बच्चों को देख लेते हैं समाज है ना उनको बड़ा कर ही देते हैं. So what's the bigger purpose?
Oh, that's a very dangerous question to ask, right? That can make you very depressed.
No, but
Yes,
does Shankaracharya give you a indication of what is the bigger purpose? Does he?
He was looking for purpose of his life. He found he reached that level, you know.
Okay.
Enlightenment,
But
self-realization. Self-realization also means that you realize the purpose of your life. So he found it. We all are looking for it.
Acha. I thought he had the answers for us also. So then I said, Ocha, might as well ask.
No, Mala. That's why Malaji is कहते हैं कि self-realization. Nobody can
No
give it
shortcuts.
to you.
No shortcuts, yeah.
It is not handed over on platter. You have to find it. Self-realization वो बताइए पहले. Self है, realize करना है तो करो, नहीं होता तो नहीं होता. But try.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. So anything else, Kinjal? What do you say? The last one. Shall we go to the last one now?
Yeah.
Or fifth we missed?
Fifth is done, no? What did we do?
No, fifth is that birth and death. And this thing. I think the fifth one is Name mrityu shanka, name jati bheda. So he says, I'm not afraid of death because there is no birth and death for me. I'm that supreme existence, so there is no birth, no death. And that's why there is no this thing, no relations, no attachments.
पर यहाँ तो वो कह रहा है कि गुरु और शिष्य नहीं है तो वो गुरु क्यों ढूंढ रहा था?
I am not that. Again, identifying with it. Body तो है उसकी भी है ना, उसका भी है अन्नमय कोश, प्राणमय कोश, सब कुछ है. But I am not identifying with any of these. I am not defining myself by this. I am not limiting myself by these. All are there. But it is like, it would be like saying you said like that I am my nose.
Correct.
So I am not limiting. Nose is a part of me, but I am not limiting my existence to this. And the last one, Kinjal, can we go to the last one? The last one.
Yeah.
Now that is the essence, because this is where he says he refers to that Atman, that I have no other identity, no vikalpa, no other identity, no duality, and Nirakar, I do not have any shape, not bound by anything, no form, no face, no nothing. And I am the one who is, this is not the last one, Kinjan. The last one is 7th slide. The formless, the all-pervasive, the omnipresent, but I am not disconnected from the self. Nacha asangata. There is no Nacha asangata. So this thing too, I am connected to the self. Connected to the self. I am not no other this thing. There's nothing. I'm bound by, so there is no mukti for this thing. I'm not striving for mukti. I'm not striving for any this thing, but I'm connected to the self. Asangata. Again, there are different interpretations that I am not, not Sangata, not this thing, but in Sanskrit, if you have that Sanskrit, you come to this that Asangata.
What is Meyaha? Meyaha?
Meya is measurable, that is finite.
Okay.
I'm not finite, I mean finite, I'm everywhere, the all-pervading existence. So
Beautiful. Very nice.
how carefully he has chosen the words also, And imagine that's on the spot composition. Not even in written form. It's just expression.
We call them child prodigies, no? People who are 2 years old and they can do all kinds of things. And people who are 8 years old and can compose. And our age, we are still trying to be writers. Pata nahi. Amazing.
Okay then?
Lovely. Thank you so much. Really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alka, I was just thinking, I mean, we have this idea that there's one idea that you create your universe. If you don't exist, then your universe doesn't exist, right? It's all a figment of your imagination, and that's why you are creating your universe. That is, and perhaps the universe doesn't exist at all, for all you know, but it's just your figment of imagination. This entire universe, whatever you
Angel,
see.
that is your department. It was said in psychology. I think there I am. and then came the controversy thing that I think, therefore I am. No, I am, therefore I think. So, Sati, what you are saying has already been discussed by psychologists.
Okay.
And it was like the discussion that I think, therefore I am. It's a very famous one.
So I'm thinking, I mean, in a way, he's saying that, isn't this also saying something similar? I mean, I can think anything, and that's what it exists. It's my imagination. If I decide, it's then it will happen. Is that what it means by, like, I have no form? I can't be freed. Mukti. I can't get mukti because I am already free. I can do whatever I want to. It's up to me.
See, if you said I can do whatever I want, there are limitations of the body. And limitations of the intellect, there are limitations, because then you are putting that I, that ego, that ahankara, attachment. So there are limitations to that. There are no limitations when you think in terms of existence. There are no limitations. And that's why we talk about sixth and seventh senses. Some people can make things happen, and or that those who can be out of their body experiences or all those. It's because of that. I think, yeah, you can stop sharing, I think, Kenji.
Okay, Alka. Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just had a question, because we also have Perveen with us, and I remember she doing a session and telling us that as writers, there's a Maya, we create the world. And this is a little antithetical to that, in that sense that there's no I, and so there's no creation. So, could you help us explain that a little bit? Like, what are your views on that? Anybody, Perveen or Alka?
So just to understand better, Kinjal, you're saying that from the writer's perspective, the writer participates there's a little bit of the creative spirit coming in, because especially even in Hinduism, even in Christianity, we think of Om as the sound, or through which creation began. And in Christianity, we have the word. First came the word, and God created the word first, and after that God said, let there be light, and then there was light, and then other things were created. So yes, in that sense of language being one of those energies of creation, is something that um, that writers try to channelize. And that's why I found this particular session very interesting, because I don't think it's a negation of I think it's an expansion of I. It's a technique of negation which leads to the actual result of expansion. So it's like, supposing I say, um, don't think of a pink elephant, right? You're going to think of a pink elephant. You can't help it, even though the word not is present in it. Or we say, I'm absolutely certain Abraham Lincoln was not gay. Supposing I say that, right? I'm saying he was not gay. I'm saying he was certain he's not gay, but I've put the thought in your head that maybe he was, right? That's why otherwise, why will she even need to say it? So the technique of negation, of saying not, is actually something that as writers we can use to expand, not to reduce and make it narrower, but to expand and open up that sense of identity. That is my takeaway from this. So I got a sense that the identity is getting more and more expansive and more inclusive. And by saying not this, we're not only rejecting, but in the process accepting everything. So that is the way I have reconciled both of these ideas in my head. I don't know if that makes sense, Kinjal, or if you want to add something to that.
No, it makes a lot of sense, because since we began this session, and I was like, how does this apply to a writer or a creator? Because the mere fact of putting pen to paper, or the thought that this is something, the mere thought that I'm going to put this in this form, or there's a story that I want to tell, or the emotion, that itself is a very personal centric activity. Like, it's very narcissistic, right? And so I was thinking that how can writers or creators apply this? But what you said makes a lot of sense, that this is more of an expansion, and in that sense, that then you can be anything, and that can be channeled in your creation.
Yeah, it's interesting how a technique which is of not, and which is of negation actually leads to the opposite effect. And that is what we see here also, right? Finally, this is a poem. This is a poem which has been created in the process. So perhaps we shouldn't feel so threatened.
You know, Parveen, I thought just one word, Kinjal, if we add, I am not only this. Okay, that negation is, of course I have a physical body, of course I have this, but I am not only this. So that goes way beyond. And that's why I'm not identifying with this, or you don't identify with me with this.
Right. I think what we conflate is these are describing words, and we make them into defining words. And that becomes the problem. So I am woman is a description, but it's not what defines me. Or so maybe if we just separate these, the describing and the defining, it'll become a little easier to navigate.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you, Bharat.
Very well said. That's something defining, confining. This is wonderful. Okay, then. Shall we call it a day?
Yes,
It was excellent. Thank you very much for that session.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Alka.
For all those.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alka.
Welcome.
It was
Ah.
excellent.
So,
Thanks a lot.
I also found, like it's a kind of it was learning for me as well, because again, when you tend to look at different meanings, different perceptions, different things, so it's kind of good experience.
Yeah, thanks Alka, and thanks everybody. Have a great evening.
Yes.
So thank you, Alka. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Alka, and please look out for another session of Papyrus Tales whenever Alka is ready to share some more of her knowledge with us.
I will have to promise again, it is totally non-religious. Shankar? Without that, I would get
if
but